Welcome to Buzzed and Baffled, the podcast where the wine flows, the stories twist, and the truth is always stranger than fiction. We laugh, we sip, and we dive into tales that leave us buzzing with questions and baffled by reality.
But before we uncork the weirdness, a quick disclaimer. We're not experts, just curious storytellers with glasses in hand. All content within this podcast is our humble opinion. Some content may be dark, disturbing, or downright inappropriate, so listener discretion is advised. And remember, nothing pairs better with a wild story than a good pour, so let's get buzzed and baffled.
Welcome back, Kyla.
Welcome back, Nicole.
We are on episode 20.
The same number as of fans that we have.
Who would have thought we made it this far and that we would have stuck with something for this long?
I know. I'm actually really proud of myself for not quitting when I was bored with something. But actually, I'm not bored with this. It's something fun to do.
I'm very proud of you for not running away for all the terrible things that I do to you in the name of this podcast. And you're like, okay, I can still manage this. It's within my window of tolerance.
My job is so bad that this is really just a fun way out.
She's really just disassociating this entire time.
I'm not even looking at the papers. I'm just staring past them and just speaking from my mind.
So tonight, Kyla's going to tell me a riveting story, and based on the pictures on the board, it looks like Hell's Von Trops.
Yeah, this is about wrestling.
Which is apropos because we were just wrestlers in the Ontonagon Day Parade.
Labor Day Parade.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean.
I do, of course.
Were we in the newspaper?
I don't know yet because it only comes out once a week on Wednesdays.
But Wednesday already happened.
Yeah, but it was too soon. You can't do something on Sunday and expect it to be in the Wednesday paper, Nicole.
I forget that there's like half a guy doing the entire thing from start to finish.
Yeah, her name's Barb. She runs the whole shop. The only thing she does is doesn't do is go out and take the pictures. I think she pays people to do that.
Well, those teenagers, they were taking the pictures on their iPhones.
Yep.
So this Wednesday, we might get to see if we're now Ontonagon famous for a good reason.
Yep, and if we're in there and it's a good picture, I'll email Barb and ask her for the color copy because it'll be in black and white.
Oh, yeah, we want the color copy. And I want to get the framed picture from the newspaper and we're going to hang it on the wall with all the other gems. I'm going to put it right next to that lady up there.
Erin Patterson, who's going to be sentenced in about 24 hours from now.
Kyla is awaiting this.
I have been waiting since I did the story. I have my news alert and everything. The day is finally coming. We'll have an update next week, I think. Probably, unless, I don't know, something happens in Australia. But
should we do the wine before you do that?
Yes, that's the moving into our story. It was hard to find a wrestling themed wine, as you may or may not imagine.
I mean, you did better than me, where I just got a herring shaped bottle because it was a fish story, I believe.
No, it was pickles.
It was pickles and pickled herrings.
Yeah, a fish shape that reminds you of pickled herring, which was close to pickles. So yeah, I did pretty good, I guess.
This is the Haymaker Marlborough, New Zealand Sauvy B from 2020.
Oh, I didn't realize it was that old of a vintage.
You got an aged bottle, Kyla.
Oh.
Good work. Oh. I mean, we haven't opened it yet.
Not so sure about an aged white wine.
They say, make hay while the sun shines. We say every moment is a haymaker moment. Nurtured by nature and sustainably crafted in New Zealand's best grape growing regions. So the terroir.
Mm-hmm. The terroir, the
terroir is perfectly made for this. You know, it's classy when I crack it open like that.
Although I very much appreciate the screw top wine industry because sometimes I just ain't got time for a cork.
We both know that I do not have time for a cork.
Not a time, nor the skill. And I think we've had this before, not on the pod. I think this was one that I randomly bought for something, but I don't remember if it was good or not.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
It's a little sharper than some.
That's probably because it's aged.
It's aging like I am.
This is a COVID wine.
It's a little sharp. It hurts your tongue a little bit.
It's kind of yellow. Just kidding. A little jaundice.
Yep. It's all in the eyes, Kyla. It's all in the eyes.
I have titled this. I actually gave one of my stories a title. Well, and by me, I mean ChatGPT. Body slams and broken hearts.
Uh-oh. I'm hoping that it's not with each other because I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 men with very impressive hair.
Mm-hmm. I tried to find the best pictures that I could, and we'll post. Made a really good board for this one.
I'm hoping that these are perms and not naturally curly hair because it's quite impressive.
Yeah, this is some good 70s and 80s stuff here.
There's a lot of white thighs being shown.
Cheese sticks. All right. Jack Adkisson was born in Texas in 1929. He attended Southern Methodist University where he played football and threw discus. I threw discus in high school.
Is that...
It's this one.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Where you're like, it's like a backwards frisbee kind of scenario?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. For our listeners who couldn't see, I was making a weird frisbee kind of across my body motion in opposition to the shot put, which is this one.
Okay, I did neither of those. I was a sprinter.
Yeah, I was not. He wanted to be an NFL player, but was cut from the team. Following that setback, he moved to Edmonton to play in the Canadian Football League.
He was cut from an NFL team?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I was like, or like his high school team.
No.
The,
He was a star player in college, but he was cut from it wasn't the Dallas Cowboys, it was the precursor to the Dallas Cowboys, I think.
Well, that's got to be disappointing for him. Mm-hmm. I don't want to say I feel sorry for him yet because he might be a jerk.
So he moved to Edmonton to play in the Canadian Football League, and while he was there, he met wrestling promoter and trainer Stu Hart, who went on to have his own family wrestling dynasty and his own set of family tragedies.
Obviously.
Foreshadowing.
Is this where I start asking questions?
Yeah, this is probably where you just read what the next 5 pages I have in my hand.
Like I mysteriously just know.
Yeah. Jack adopted the name Fritz von Erich.
So he's the first one there. Mm-hmm. And what year is this?
We are in the 50s right now.
Oh, okay.
With Erich being his mother's maiden name, and this is Erich.
Okay.
And he wrestled with his not biological but character brother, Waldo von Erich, as a pair of Nazi villains.
Great.
Yeah.
We're off to a banger at the start.
So as you can imagine, they were the bad guys.
The heel.
Look
at me, I remembered.
During his early wrestling years in the 50s, Fritz would often wrestle for only $5 a night, which is $60 today. So things were like, yeah, it was not great. In 1950, he married Doris Smith, and in 1952, Jack Jr. was born.
And so that's the little baby there. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming none of these pretty ladies on the board are his wife.
No, there's not a single woman up on that board.
Okay.
In 1957, Kevin was born, followed by David in 1958, Carrie in 1960, Mike in 1964, and finally Chris in 1969. So there's like 17 years between children here.
So I'm just looking, and Mike looks like he might be the most problematic just by looking at the pictures.
Is it because he's a redhead?
Well, yeah, they don't have souls.
In 1959, the family was living at a trailer park in Niagara Falls.
Of course they were.
New York, where Fritz was working for Capital Wrestling, the precursor to the WWE.
Which is also problematic.
Yeah, a little bit. On March 7th, 1959, his oldest son, Jack Jr., was playing outside when he stepped on the tongue of a trailer. You know what a trailer tongue is? Mm-mm. Oh, it's like the triangle part that comes out that hooks.
Oh, it's like the hitch where you drag it away?
Yeah, it's not the hitch part, but it's the part the part that connects the hitch to the actual whatever you're hauling. He accidentally touched a live wire and received an electric shock. A contractor had been installing an electric line to one of the trailers, and it became energized. The charge knocked him out, and he fell face down into a 10-inch deep puddle of melting snow.
Oh, no.
Where he drowned.
Okay, that's terrible.
Jack Atkinson Jr. was 6 years old.
Oh.
Yeah. And that's why there's not an adult.
And that's why he's a baby, and there is no other pictures of him.
Despite Jack Jr.'s death, Fritz continued to wrestle and achieve success both as a wrestler and later as a promoter. He bought a 115-acre farm in the Dallas area. It's just a little bit northwest of Dallas.
Is that where our story takes place?
Yeah, most of it's in the Dallas area.
Okay.
And wanted to raise his family there. Growing up on the farm, the family had 8 black labs.
That's a lot. I mean, but if you have a farm, like there's plenty of land.
And they consumed 32 gallons of milk a week.
That's disgusting. As someone who's lactose intolerant,
you could rocket us to the moon.
I could fuel everything for eternity.
Fritz taught his boys how to hunt, fish, and of course wrestle. He built a ring on the property and later had a gym installed.
I bet you it wasn't as cool as your dad's ring.
No, of course not. It didn't have birch logs as the corner posts.
Birch logs as the corner posts.
Fritz served as a promoter in the Dallas area for World Class Championship Wrestling, the WCCW, and continued to wrestle.
In my mind, I'm trying to fathom how there is like people just clamoring to watch tiny men in Speedos wrestle each other in the 60s.
Oh, just wait. In his later career, his matches were televised and had a really high production value. He wrestled until 1986.
That's a long time.
He was born in 1929, so he's like 57 years old. And as his career was winding down, he began promoting his sons through the WCCW League. Back before the WWF, WWE, wrestling was pretty much regional, and each region was like kind of called a territory. And
like
there
was mob?
Kind of, yeah. And there was pretty much a gentleman's agreement that you didn't go into another promoter's territory. Each territory also had its own kind of tournament and champion.
In my mind, I'm picturing like a Righteous Gemstones kind of scenario. Like this is what the family looks like in my mind.
Yeah, you're not that far off. And each territory and promoter could develop their own stars. So you're
because you're building characters and storylines.
Yeah, you're telling your own storyline. It's not nationwide like what we have today.
But he decided Nazis was the way to go.
Well, that was post-war. So
during the McCarthy era.
Yeah. A world champion would be decided, and there was some talk that the champion was decided by collusion between all the different promoters. So they're saying, oh, this year the champion's going to be from such and such territory, and next year it'll be from... So it was, yeah.
Are you telling me that wrestling is fixed and not real? I don't believe it.
I'm certainly not saying that. At all.
Do you know who told me that they believed that wrestling was real and did not believe me when I told them it was fixed?
Your father.
My father.
Also, my great-grandmother, she passed before I was born, but she also loved wrestling, and it was very real, and she would get very upset if you said it wasn't.
No, and this isn't Bink. This is Chris. Yeah. At first I thought he was shitting me, but like, no, like he's like, it is real. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, so this world champion would then travel between all the different territories and wrestle the territorial champion, and huge crowds, because
for like the world domination.
Yeah.
So this is like when The Rock is like wrestling, I don't know, like The Undertaker. I don't know who any of these people are.
The Rock is traveling to Texas and wrestling whoever Texas's champion is. And the crowds would be big because, the big guy, the big world champion's coming and he's coming to wrestle our champion. Huge crowds. The WCCW became a syndicated TV program and had massive success in the early 1980s. In 1984, I'm going to have you guess, how many households in the Dallas area were watching the weekly program?
Am I giving a number or like a percentage?
A number.
How many households are there?
I don't know.
Okay. 20,000.
200,000 households were tuning in every single week to the WCCW syndicated program.
Dallas.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Absolutely not.
In the ring, Fritz was known as a heel, of course.
The villain.
Yep. He was quite popular. He was 6'4" and 260 pounds.
I mean, he's a big dude.
Yeah, you can see in that picture, he's a big dude. His signature move was the Iron Claw, which he's making there. Putting his huge hand over his opponent's face and squeezing their skull.
I'm sure doing that to you.
Yeah, please don't. Also, I don't think your hands are big enough to fit over my broken pumpkin head.
I have big head. I don't.
You do not have big heads.
We've tried this. Her hands are bigger than mine.
He gained international fame when he began to wrestle on tour in Japan in the 70s and was credited with expanding the sport after he had so-called feuds with some of Japan's popular wrestlers. So kind of the same thing with the world champion.
They have weird television shows over there, so I imagine this is right up their alley.
Oh, yeah. When his sons were ready to start wrestling professionally, he gradually changed his image and became a good guy with a clean-cut family. He arranged for his 3 oldest boys to have the first rivalry in wrestling and pitted them against the Freebirds, which was a group of wild Southern boys cast as outlaws. So you have the clean-cut guys against pretty much the Southern...
The trailer trash.
Yeah,
the trailer trash of the wrestling world.
Mm-hmm. The Von Erichs were all born-again Christians and would often deliver powerful testimony during their church services.
This is getting worse and worse the more you say things.
Second son, Kevin Von Erich, started wrestling professionally in 1976 after an injury derailed his hopes of becoming a professional football player, just like his dad.
He's got dead eyes.
Yeah. He's 6'2" and weighs 235 pounds, so not quite as big as dad, but he's still big.
I mean, yeah, 6'2".
Yeah.
You cut an imposing figure.
Most of his professional career was in the WCCW in Texas, and he was one of its biggest stars. He was known for wrestling barefoot, which was uncommon at the time, but he later explained that it wasn't on purpose. Before one match, someone hid his boots and he couldn't find them, so he just went with it out into the ring.
That's actually hilarious and something I would do. Good luck finding your shoes, Kyla. Ha ha ha.
He often wrestled in tag team matches with brothers David and Kerry, and those were his biggest draws when he wrestled with them. Kevin later told a Dallas magazine, quote, "At first we went into wrestling because it was fun. But when all the attention hit, we realized just how important this could be, not just for our family, but for other people. I'll tell you something. It didn't become a performance anymore. It wasn't an act. We became the Von Erichs. We began to think we were everything they represented, and that is what we are now," end quote.
That's not healthy.
No. David Von Erich, the third son, was probably the most talented of the boys.
Is that a reflection in the photo, or is that his long, luscious hair?
It's feathers.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. I had
feel
to
like
look at it.
that might be problematic too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and of course, the photo quality is not super great, but it is feathers. He was named after his mother's 14-year-old brother who died of a brain tumor a few months before David was born.
That's sad, but also maybe don't name your kid that.
He was 6'6" and weighed 230 pounds.
Oh, he's a big dude.
He's big. He had a basketball and football scholarship to North Texas University, but dropped out to pursue his wrestling career.
His mother is giving birth to all these kids. Mm-hmm. This poor mother who's birthing 6 foot tall.
Yeah, and I don't have a picture of her up there, but she was not.
I'm guessing she's like 5 feet tall.
Yeah, she wasn't some Amazon.
She's probably some petite little woman.
In 1978, David got married and had a daughter named Natosha later that year.
Natasha or
Natosha with an O.
Oh.
Well, it's probably Natasha, but it's spelled with it's Natosha. Yeah. Okay. On December 29th, 1978, Natosha died of SIDS at 13 weeks old.
But now I feel bad for making fun of her name.
Of course, David and his wife separated shortly after her death, and they were divorced by mid-1979.
Not very Christian of them.
He did remarry in 1982. In late 1983, a few months before he was supposed to begin a tour in Japan, he started to throw up. He told his family it was some kind of stomach bug and that it would go away. The day before his trip, he called his father and told him he didn't want to go, but knew he had to honor his contract.
He died, didn't he?
On February 10th, 1984, David was in Japan touring with the All Japan Pro Wrestling Group. He died that day at the age of 27.
Jesus, of what?
His official cause of death, released by the Japanese embassy, was acute enteritis, which caused a rupture of his small intestine. I
don't know what enteritis is.
Oh, that's inflammation
Okay.
of your small intestine. It can be caused by a lot of things, viral,
Okay.
a whole bunch of stuff. The von Erich family also stands by this, noting that in the months leading up to the Japan trip, he would vomit but then recover. Other wrestlers assert that it was an overdose of painkillers.
Okay, that
Ric
tracks.
Flair, one of the wrestlers, and he's a very famous wrestler, like even today, faced David many times and stated in his autobiography that it was an overdose, and that Bruiser Brody, a longtime friend of David's, went into David's hotel room and removed the evidence of drug use before the authorities got there.
Like, why would you do... I mean, I get why, but, like, at the same time, you're a small league of wrestlers. It's not like...
Kerry Von Erich was born 11 months after Jack Jr.'s death.
Okay.
So, these are back-to-back.
Yeah.
He was a standout athlete and set a world junior discus record while he was in high school. Fritz, a discus thrower himself, would coach Kerry 2 hours a day and show him old film of discus throwers.
That seems a little intense for high school track.
Mm-hmm. When he started setting the records, he wanted to be known as Kerry Atkinson, his real name, so he wouldn't be only known as Fritz von Erich's son. But he felt guilty for thinking about it that way and allowed people to call him a Von Erich.
Oh, that's so sad.
Mm-hmm. Kerry's 6'2" and weighed 245 pounds.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. You can see he's
muscle. He's solid
he's
muscle.
jacked. He debuted in Fritz's Wrestling League in 1978.
But I feel like at some point, like, are there steroids going on here?
Well, I shouldn't say that because they were farm boys, but I think at some point there was probably steroids. Debuted in his dad's league in 1978, and he actually later trained to compete in the 1980 Summer Olympics in Moscow.
Oh, wow.
But he was unable to attend because President Carter, among other countries, boycotted the games following the Soviet Union's invasion of Afghanistan.
This family cannot catch an actual fucking break.
It's going to get so much worse.
At first, when you said it was going to be bad, I thought you meant they were bad.
No.
But it's like everything, if it could go wrong, it's going to.
In 1983, he got married and had 2 daughters. He became the most successful of the Von Erich brothers in May 1984 after he defeated Ric Flair for the World Heavyweight Championship. The win occurred during the David Von Erich Memorial Parade of Champions, held only 3 months after David's death in Japan.
Okay.
So I think Dad probably pushed that one a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
There were over 41,000 people in the crowd. And Fritz promoted the event as well as came out of retirement to wrestle with his sons against the Freebirds.
So no one gets to mourn the death of their son or brother. We're going to build on this and try to make money off of it.
Yep.
Okay.
It was the largest crowd to ever watch a wrestling event in North America. And Kerry was on his way to wrestling superstardom. And at that time, he was more popular than Hulk Hogan.
Okay. I know who Hulk Hogan is.
Mike Von Erich, the 5th son.
He's the one who looks a little crazy to me.
Because he's a redhead. Did not want to be a wrestler. He enjoyed doing production and being a cameraman for his dad's league, doing their videotaping and things.
Behind the scenes and the technical stuff.
He's 6'1", 200 pounds. After David's death in 1984, Fritz pressured him into getting into the ring and made him take David's place in one of the long-standing feuds the Von Erichs had with the other wrestling family. His brothers remarked that Mike carried the weight of replacing David, and he was thrown into a ring of overachievers in a real hurry.
So Dad is a real ball buster here.
In February 1985, Mike got married but was divorced before the end of that year.
Okay.
In August of 85, Mike went on a wrestling tour of Israel, but he dislocated his left shoulder in the ring.
Ugh.
He came back to the States and underwent surgery in Texas to repair it, but he contracted an infection.
He died.
Causing him to develop toxic shock syndrome.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
His body temperature spiked to 107 degrees.
That's not good.
No. And, of course, he suffered brain damage. You can't...
So he's not dead, but he's handicapped now.
Yeah, well, we'll get there. But you can't have your body go that high and like something's going to happen bad and it's going to be brain damage. Yeah. He also lost 50 pounds during this ordeal and had, of course, organ damage just because everything is so bad. You're septic, so...
Maybe if Dad had, chilled his flow a little bit, that wouldn't have happened.
In 1986, Mike was in a car crash.
So why is he still driving?
I don't know. He did. And he got a head injury after losing control and flipping his vehicle. After a partial recovery, he tried to return to wrestling but had difficulty with his balance and coordination. He also naturally had memory issues and would often have to stop in the middle of a move, almost as if he couldn't remember what to do next.
Maybe don't try to make him do this, Dad. Okay, I don't like Fritz anymore. Fritz can suck it.
On June 4th, 1986, so 86, Mike's car crash. Well, 85, Mike's... So... We're 80, 84, David dies. 85, Mike has his sepsis. 86, he has his car crash.
Okay.
June 4th, 86, Kerry was riding his motorcycle and crashed it into the back of a police car.
Okay.
He survived, but dislocated his hip and severely injured his right leg, requiring 15 hours of surgery on his right foot.
Good God.
The doctors...
I can only imagine the amount of muscle tissue they would have to cut through in order to do that surgery.
Yeah. The doctors had trouble reestablishing blood flow in his extremities and had to fuse part of the bones together. Eventually, his right foot did have to be amputated.
No more wrestling for Kerry.
I'm not even going to horn you, but just hold on. His brother Kevin said Kerry injured the foot beyond repair after his initial surgery when he got up in the hospital at night to get something to eat, instead of just ringing his bell. Others say he returned to wrestling too soon, and in order to do so, had doctors inject liquid painkillers into the foot before his first match back, 16 months after the accident.
Just numb it up. I won't even know the difference.
He won that match, but the excruciating pain led to the eventual amputation. So there's mixed stories on which it was.
Did Mom never just step in and be like, hey guys, maybe we should take a step back and chill for a minute?
Yeah, I think Mom was just a quiet mouse in the corner. Kerry hid the injury and amputation from the public and wore a prosthetic foot inside his wrestling boots.
He was wrestling with a prosthetic?
Yep.
That must have hurt like a motherfucker.
He even went as far as showering with his boots on so nobody would find out about it.
Gross.
Yeah, also gross.
But also, both boots or just the one?
Both boots, I think.
How did he wash his good foot so he didn't get gangrene?
Well, I think that he only when he was at the gym or the ring.
Okay.
I don't think he was wearing boots in his home shower.
Like he's gonna get fucking swamp foot.
Yeah, I know. So that was June 86. In early April 1987, Mike was arrested for DUI and possession of marijuana.
Wait, hold on. Who was?
The redhead Mike.
Okay.
The one who
The brain trauma.
and the shoulder injury, yep.
Okay.
Because David's already dead now.
So David's dead. Kerry has one foot.
Yep.
Mike has a brain trauma. And now he's arrested for what?
DUI and marijuana possession.
Okay.
And he's bailed out of jail.
Well, because back then marijuana was super illegal.
Yeah, especially in like Texas. On April 12th, 1987, he left a note for his family and walked to a nearby lake where he overdosed on alcohol and sleeping pills. His body was found 4 days later.
Jesus Christ.
He was 23 years old.
All this happened before he was 23?
Yep.
Fritz is not a good dad.
Chris von Erich, the youngest boy, was also the smallest by a lot.
He has a luscious head of hair.
He does. How tall do you think Chris was? So all the other brothers are at least 6 feet. They're between 6 and 6'6".
I'm going to guess he's smaller than me. I'm going to guess he's 5'4".
5'5". Yep.
I'm taller than him. I am 5'6".
Yep. 5'5" and 175 pounds.
I also won't weigh him.
He had brittle bones that were prone to breaking, and he suffered from severe asthma.
Well, all his other brothers sucked the nutrients out of his mother's womb. There was none left.
He loved wrestling, but he was never able to achieve the success of his father and brothers.
He was so tiny, though.
Yeah.
He could just like hit him out at the knees and take him down.
He became frustrated. Oh my God, there's a hole in my sock. Don't look at that.
Oh my God, I can't believe you're wearing those socks, Kelly. I'm so embarrassed for you.
I think it just happened because there wasn't a hole when I put them on. He loved wrestling, but he became frustrated and depressed over his inability to break into the fame, and he developed drug addiction.
Of course he did. But it's the 80s, though, too. Everyone had a drug addiction in the 80s.
By the late 80s, the Von Erichs no longer had a monopoly on Dallas area wrestling.
So it wasn't just their territory anymore. Someone poached on them.
Crowds dwindled as wrestling gained mainstream popularity and viewers had more options to watch.
Is this when the WWE was building?
The WWF was formed. But Fritz maintained his own federation that crowned Kevin as champion.
Okay,
And that's
so Kevin's the head one.
Yep.
Okay.
The boys toured, but failed to draw the massive crowds they once had. By his own admission, Fritz said he was being left behind while the industry changed. So he pretty much refused to kind of sell to the WWF or whatever.
Well, he refused to see the writing on the wall.
Mm-hmm. In the early hours of September 12th, 1991.
Hold up.
Go ahead.
Is that Chris in his adult form in that picture of...
Yeah, that's him as an adult.
Are you sure? Like, he looks like he might be a child there. Is that
are you talking about the bottom one?
Yeah.
Oh, no, he's a child in that bottom.
Okay, I was like, is that him as an adult?
There's like 10 years difference between Kevin and Chris.
Okay. But I feel like he's at his full height right there.
Well, I mean, he's pretty close. In the early hours of September 12th, 1991, Kevin saw Chris sitting alone on a hill at the farm and went to speak with him. Chris admitted he was having thoughts of suicide. Mm-hmm. He'd been struggling with Mike's death and had recently injured his arm again.
Wait, Chris was feeling suicidal and Kevin went to talk to him?
Yes.
Okay.
Because of Mike's recent suicide.
Okay.
Well, a few years ago, but suicide.
Yeah.
Kevin made him promise not to harm himself, and then he left Chris alone.
He should be a social worker. He's real good at this.
Chris shot himself in the head.
He left him with a gun?
I don't know. He was found by his mother and Kevin and died shortly after arriving at the hospital. He was 21 years old.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
His toxicology report showed Valium and cocaine in his system.
That is quite the choice for substances.
Mm-hmm. Fritz and Doris divorced in July 1992 after 42 years of marriage.
Doris should have left him long before that.
Doris Von Erich once told an interviewer that she prefers to be called Doris Atkinson, but, quote, "To be honest, we hardly know who the Atkinsons are anymore. But I don't know if you can ever stop being a Von Erich," end quote.
That poor woman. Mm-hmm. Also, you don't live your character.
After his motorcycle accident, Carey became addicted to painkillers.
Well, he was probably addicted before that.
Yeah, which spiraled into dependence on other drugs. He was arrested in 1992 for possession of cocaine and received 10 years probation in September of that year. By then, his marriage had fallen apart. He was indicted again for cocaine possession on February 17, 1993, following arrest in January. The next day, on February 18th, Carey went to his father's ranch and told Fritz he loved him.
And then he killed himself.
Carey walked into the nearby woods and shot himself in the heart.
Oh, that's hard to do.
Yeah. He had turned 33 just 15 days before.
So they didn't believe in the mental health in this family.
No.
Like, no one goes to see a therapist.
No.
Because we're all have manic depression problems or like major depressive problems, and we need to get this figured out.
The von Erich family's tragedies and deaths are known as the von Erich curse, which seems to have been broken upon Fritz's death in 1997 from lung cancer that had metastasized to his brain.
Because then
he was 68.
But at that point, we just have Kevin left. Mm-hmm. He's the last one standing. Mm-hmm. And Mom.
Mm-hmm. Doris died in 2015 at age 82.
Okay, good for her.
3 of their grandchildren, Ross and Marshall, who were Kevin's sons, and Lacey, who's Carey's daughter, all wrestled professionally without the tragedy that had befallen their fathers and uncles.
Get a different career.
Kevin von Erich is the only survivor of Fritz and Doris's 6 sons.
And how old is he now?
He was born in 57, I think, 1959.
So he's like my mom's age.
Yeah, so he's 66,
yeah,
something like that.
But they never got in with the WWF.
No.
Okay.
He's been married since 1980 and lives in the Dallas area. He has an investment in commercial real estate businesses and owns the right to Southwest Sports, who's the distributor of world-class wrestling.
Good for him. Different career path.
In 2009, Fritz, Kevin, David, Carey, Mike, and Chris were all inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame.
Well, that's good. I'm glad Chris made it in.
Yeah. So, of these 6 boys, we have accidental death, still alive, natural or possibly accidental death, suicide. Yep. And that's the von Erich family.
I don't like this story. This is really depressing.
Yeah, it's the more you read, like, I read about it, I was like, and then what? And then what?
But at some point, Fritz needed to step back and be like, okay, we need to reassess how we're doing this because it's obviously not working.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would think David's death would have been the way to be like, okay, had we got even basic medical attention when he's like spontaneously vomiting all the time.
Or allowing your family to grieve instead of pushing them into the ring less than 3 months later in a memorial that was named for him and forcing your other son to basically take his dead brother's place, even though he had no like inkling or wanted to do so.
Yeah. Fritz, you suck.
So there's a movie about the family called Iron Claw.
Okay.
It's fictionalized. For example, they kind of combine Mike and Chris's character.
Okay.
But Zac Efron is in it. A couple other people. The dad is played by the older guy.
Zac Efron and his jacked up face now?
Yeah. The dad is played by the older guy from Mindhunter.
The older cop of the two? Okay.
Mm-hmm. And there's a couple other people in it. It's an okay movie. It's, it's fictionalized.
I'm more likely to watch the WWF than I am to watch that movie.
Yeah. David and I watched it because I think it was a Sunday movie night pick. But yeah, and I don't know why. Well, I actually do. So people were like, why did they leave Chris out? He existed. He wasn't just. And I guess the director said there was already so much heartache and tragedy in the movie, he couldn't put in another one. And I'm like, okay, you already have 4.
What's one more?
Yeah. And of course, that bottom picture is the only one that I could find, at least in color. that
of all of the kids
together, of course, with the exception of Jack Jr., who passed at such a young age. Several of his brothers hadn't even been born yet.
Well, like just the vast discrepancy in their ages, and like that poor mother. Someone get her a Morena and like set her free.
Yeah. I couldn't find, and this was in the 70s and 80s, so there wasn't a lot about her, at least not that I could find. And I did quite a bit of digging on this, even more than just my usual Wikipedia scan.
Did you do as deep a dive as I do?
No, but I did find an old article from Dallas Magazine, or a Dallas Magazine, and it was before Carrie's car crash even. So it was interesting to read kind of the family's mindset before
some of these things happened.
Before some of them happened. David, of course, had died. Mike hadn't killed himself yet, so they were kind of still in between
tragedies.
And that was when she said, I don't think you can ever stop being a Von Erich. And little did she know all of this much worse stuff was about to happen.
But you can't, and I think this is just goes to show you can't have your entire life be your job.
No, and you have to let people be what they want to be.
If I want to be a videographer, let me be the videographer.
Yeah, and I know some of the boys, Kevin had said in an interview that, people often said, well, your dad pushed you. And he's like, no, we wanted to do this, but Mike didn't.
I get the distinct impression, though, there was probably a culture within the family where there's an expectation, because all families have systems.
Yeah.
And each person in that system has a role.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know if, Fritz's failures or not being able to be the football player that he dreamed of being, if he kind of manifested that on his kids.
I'm going to live my dreams through my children.
But, even in his own right, he was a popular wrestler. But I guess he just pushed those boys, and 3 of them had substance abuse. Well, possibly even 4 of David, depending. It's, why would Ric Flair make it up?
Yeah,
he has nothing to gain
from it.
And they were friends and they'd wrestle. All these wrestlers know each other.
Like, we're going against each other in the ring, but that doesn't mean we don't like each other as people.
And in that Dallas article, the interviewer asked Fritz about David's death, and how some people were reporting that it was possibly a drug overdose. And Fritz got really mad and slammed. He had the embassy report and slammed it down and said, no, it wasn't.
So he brought that to the interview?
I think the guy went to his house.
Okay.
And also in that article, and I'll post a link to it. It's really old, obviously, but there was some interesting insight, because even at that point in the mid 80s, when it was, the mom had slowly started taking some of the wrestling stuff down in the house, kind of maybe trying to take her life back.
Yeah, I don't want my entire life to be this all the time.
Yeah.
Obviously I feel bad for all the kids that died, but I felt kind of worse for mom here, because she had to watch it all, and knowing that your husband is kind of the root cause of this.
And what are you going to do? And this is purely conjecture, but when you have kids 17 years apart, I'm going to guess there was some pregnancy loss in between there. So she was probably pregnant way more than the 6 times.
Do you think that your mom and my mom are living their podcaster dreams through us?
Yes, they both grew up wanting to be podcasters. I just know it.
I think that maybe your mom a little more so than my mom, because she has a second story planned. I wonder if Lisa's secretly at home hugging her pickleball paddle, going,
just waiting for another one.
Another story.
She's got her news alert for Rodney Rocket Grubbs. She's like, oh, I can't wait for him.
They're living vicariously through us.
So that's my second sad family story. Of course, Steven Stainer was the first one.
I do think that this is sadder than my serial killer story.
It's so tragic.
It's tragic in a worse way, because it's 100% preventable.
Yeah, exactly. Murder is intentional.
Yeah.
And of course, suicide is, but it's, like you said, it's
a series of unfortunate events that piled up on each other. And it's not because some dumb cops just didn't catch on to what's happening.
In rapid succession, within, a period of 3 years, you've got David dying, and then Mike's nearly dying, and then him in a car crash, and then Carrie's accident, and then Mike kills. So it's just one thing after another.
So, but you're looking at this, and I'm just guessing because they're doing something that's very hard in their body. So I'm guessing it's the 80s. There's substance abuse.
I'm sure.
There's over medication. There's steroid use, which affects your mood, and all those things coming together, and then you have loss and trauma in the middle of it. It's a perfect storm.
Yeah, it's just a bad, and it's not a pun of cocktail, but it's a bad cocktail of shit.
Did it talk, or did you see anything about, has the wrestling world learned from this to be like, okay, here's what we need to avoid?
I don't believe so, because even still recently, we still see wrestlers, and I'm not a wrestling person. I know who like the main people are, but I don't follow wrestling, anything like that. But I still see on the news, Chris Benoit I think he killed his wife and his son, and then killed himself, and that was like 10 years ago. China overdosed, so I don't think they learned.
Black China?
No, she's a singer. China the wrestler.
She's dead?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
That's sad.
She overdosed. I don't remember. It was a while ago. But yeah, I don't think.
So it's still prevalent within that culture.
Yeah. Yep. And
because if you slow down, you're no longer in the limelight, and to make money, you have to keep going.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So yeah, a lot of it I think could have been prevented with just some regular living, just being regular people.
Like, as a therapist, when I tell you to do self-care, I'm not kidding. Take a break.
Yep.
Go for a walk in nature.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's that true as it was in the movie, but they really highlighted Carrie's discus throwing and how absolutely crushed he was when they announced that the Olympics were being boycotted that year.
That's because he worked so hard for something.
It's completely out of your control.
It's out of your control.
Yep, and you had nothing to do with it. You just get the shit. You're a bystander. Yep. So.
Well, I did not say the bar.
I did not.
To the next pour and the next plot twist.